Welcome to Book Time with Ryan. I am Ryan, and today I am talking about The Gone Away World by Nick Harkaway. I just finished this book, I think technically this morning, although it felt like last night. I stayed up really late to finish it because it got really, really good at the end, and I just couldn't put it down. I don't often do that because I like to sleep and I like to be rested for work. But the book called to me, and I had to answer. This is the second Nick Harkaway book I read. I read Tigerman, which I went into blind, and I really enjoyed that. The Gone Away World was 5 stars, so I'll just start out with that. I loved it. It was 5 stars. It was very complicated. There was a lot of funny, dry humor in it, where I would like for there to be humor. Like it really appealed to my sense of humor. So what is it? What is it about? Generally think of British writers writing about the 1700s or the mid-1900s, but I'm pretty sure that this is a modern work. This was published in 2008, and I think it was really set around that time or in the near future. The narrator, who we don't know his name, so the narrator talks about his growing up. That's how the book starts. He talks about his best friend and really hanging out at his best friend's house with his best friend's family. They developed a great bond. They were very close. He got into a form of martial arts called the Voiceless Dragon. He was under a Master Wu. So that's where it starts. The narrator is going to school. He gets more and more involved with political stuff at school. Some of it gets a little more radical. And then he is involved in kind of a raid to either go after fascists or communists in the UK. When he's looking for employment after he graduates, he has trouble getting it because there's some kind of addendum to his CV. And people don't want to hire him because they see this classified addendum and they don't know what it's about. He goes to work for what seems like the military or intelligence service. It's kind of vague. He's involved with a project to create a new weapon. The new weapon, a go-away weapon. It destroys matter. It just makes the matter go away. And the doctor, Dr. Derek, who is creating this weapon, describes how things are made up of 2 things, information and matter. And the go-away weapon, the go-away bomb, destroys the matter. And they think it's going to be clean and easy, but they don't want to use it. It's basically a weapon of mass destruction. There's this war in a fictional country, I believe, near the Himalayas. The narrator and his best friend, Gonzo, are involved with this military action. Gonzo, his best friend, who was talked about a lot in the book, he is in the special forces, special operations kind of element, the British force. There's a chemical attack, and the government decides that they're going to use one of the go-away bombs. And they drop it, their enemies, and they just disappear. I guess the secret of the go-away bomb had leaked because all around the world, go-away bombs start going off in populated areas, in major cities. So they're dealing with the aftermath. It's basically destroyed the world. Then these storms start, and the storms are giant nightmares. They roll into the area, and there's bullets coming out of them, and they can't figure out what it is. They see horrific visions, or what they believe is happening is, like Dr. Derek said, there are 2 parts of everything, the matter and the information. And the go-away bombs destroyed the matter, but the information remained. Looking for a place to go, all this floating information manifested itself in people's nightmares. So these people that disappeared, they had these nightmares, and those became things. The others, the new people, anew. Corporations around the world gather and they work on creating a pipeline that produces this mist called Fox. And Fox is a substance that neutralizes that negative, like the negative mist from this floating information. So it won't create scary stuff. It just kind of creates air if it touches it. Around the entire world, there's this pipeline, and within a few miles of the pipeline, people can live comfortably because they don't worry about the other stuff, the nightmares that are out there, these weird creatures that have been created just from people's minds. At some point, the main area of the pipe explodes. The narrator and his buddies, his friends, that had served in the military with him. They're now part of a team that works on hazmat and like firefighting. They respond to this fire. Now, this is going to be a spoiler. So if you want to read it, and I think you should read this. Read this book. I loved this book. And I'm not doing it justice in my explanation because it's so well done. So understand that. I'm not going to ruin it, actually. You know what? The rest of the book is them dealing with the fallout from that hazmat reaction, their attempt to clean up and fix the pipe before essentially the entire world is at risk of being inundated by these kind of monsters. So the rest of the book, probably half of it, maybe half of it, is really about the main character, our narrator, dealing with that. This book has ninjas, it has martial arts, it has some creepy kind of horror-ish stuff to it, some sci-fi-ish stuff. It's set in a time period that we can identify with at the beginning, and turns into kind of a nightmare scenario relatively early on in the book. But it talks about rebuilding and moving forward and accepting that that's the way the earth is going to be, and how do people survive and get along. My favorite character in the book is Ike Thermite. And there are mimes, and Ike is the leader of this mime troupe. I just love that character. It was 576 pages. I went through it pretty quickly. It was a page turner. There are moments where you think you're going to be confused, and the next sentence clears it up. I like the way that Nick Harkaway kind of weaves a story.
Thanks. I like you too.
I didn't say I liked you. I hate Alexa. I hate Alexa. I'm not talking to you, Alexa. Stop. Stop. Alexa, stop. Fuck, I didn't even say your name. I like the way Nick approached this book, how he wrote it. I love the ending. I rarely react to books in a way that people around me notice something's happening. And last night / this morning, I did. And my wife looked at me like, what's going on? And it was one of those like, oh shit moments in the book that you want to just grab somebody and be like, guess what happened? And that's what I'm trying not to do here. Because I really enjoy the book. So what I'm saying is, this is my second Nick Harkaway book. I love Nick's approach. I think I'm getting a feel for the way he does things. I wasn't sure if it was more realistic or not, but I'm getting a better feel for that. So the next book I go into, and I bought another book. I have 2 more of his books to read. The next book I go into, I'm going to have a little bit better idea of, I think, of where it's going to go. But it's been fun to start reading these books with no knowledge, with no prior knowledge, because they're so exciting and the pace is so good that just discovering what it's about is its own kind of journey, beyond just the plot and the characters. It's cool. I didn't read the back of the book or anything. So, what can I say? The Gone Away World by Nick Harkaway. Read it. Read it. Tell me you read it. Let me know what you thought. I loved it. I'm really enjoying Nick's stuff. I can't wait to read the next one. I'm kind of alternating between fiction and nonfiction, so there'll be a couple books before I hit his next book. But I've really, really gotten to like Nick's writing, so I look forward to future Nick books. The Gone Away World. Thanks.